One day you decide to visit this city, either because you heard about it, or because you want to add another European capital to your list, or because someone told you that you can visit this part of Europe on a smaller budget. After you arrive, you wonder why you didn't come sooner. Travel companions, welcome to a very unique city, Bucharest. Welcome to the first video of a series about Romania. Music. Located in Romania and its capital, Bucharest doesn't have all the good press that other cities get. You've probably heard about its parliament and not much else. Let's find out together today what else it offers and what we can do. 3 days in the city? Bucharest features beautiful historic buildings, some wear and tear from ongoing recovery, and a vibrant scene of small bars and cafes. It's a mix that, at least for me, didn't go unnoticed. It actually won me over. Today's itinerary took us 3 days, but you can adjust it to 2 if needed. I'll highlight several places, including my must-sees, and then you choose. Everything I say is just my opinion and preferences. You may agree or not, but it's my trip and still subjective. In the end, my hotel and restaurant choices will remain. But like I said, they're my choices. You can do this same trip by choosing another hotel or different meals, and I'm sure you'll have just as good a time. But if you're interested in the hotels I chose, check the website where I leave all the details. Your needs, like elevator, breakfast, parking, etc. Because maybe they're not the same as mine. Stay until the end, because all that information will be there. The official currency of Romania is the Romanian leu, identified by the initials Romanian leu. €1 is approximately equal to 5 lei, which makes conversion quite easy. When we traveled, we used credit cards, but although they are accepted in most places, there are several where they are not. So I recommend carrying some cash. We will leave from our hotel, located in the historic center, towards the first stop. The Bucharest Carousel Bookstore. In the heart of the old town is Bucharest Carousel, a very beautiful bookstore that I think is a must-see when visiting Bucharest. Admission is free. Its 19th century architecture, with white columns and curved balconies, creates a magical atmosphere. Besides books, it has a cafe on the top floor with views of the interior. Bucharest Carousel occupies a 19th century building that belonged to a family of bankers. During the communist era, it housed a major department store and was converted into a bookstore in 2015. Today, it blends history and culture in one of Bucharest's most photogenic spaces. Our steps begin a beautiful walk, which will lead us to see beautiful buildings as we make our way to another must-see in Bucharest, the Stavropolios Monastery. The Stavropolios Monastery was built in 1724 in the Brancovanesque style. Originally, it was part of an inn in the Old Town. In Bucharest, during the 17th and 18th centuries. The inns were large walled complexes that combined lodging, warehouses, and commercial spaces. They provided refuge for merchants and travelers and served as centers of city economic life. Inside the grounds of the inn, a church and a monastery were built, which were financially supported by the inn's income, a relatively common situation in those times. Many of them disappeared, but Stavropolio still functions today as an Orthodox church, and admission is free, which makes it one of the most accessible gems in Bucharest. I'm giving you a route planned around the proximity of the attractions, but what I think is an excellent option is to take a free tour. We did it on the first day, and it was one of the best free tours we've ever taken. Our guide, Lavi, was an excellent host. She showed us her city and told us how it's gradually being restored. As we wandered its streets, we imagined it would soon look even more beautiful. Today, it looks authentic, with a mix that adds an interesting touch, and with a reduced number of tourists, which makes it seem strange to those of us who travel the world avoiding crowds. And of course, it has its own charm. The walk we're doing today on this first day can mostly be done with the free tour. But we continue the route and stop at a place we would return to at night, since we had a reservation. Karukubere. Karukubere opened in 1879 and is one of the oldest restaurants in Bucharest. Its neo-Gothic interior, with stained glass and murals, makes it an attraction in itself. Today, it still operates as a brewery and a typical place to try Romanian cuisine. Then, at the end of the video, we'll show you how our dinner went and the prices. After a short walk, we reached my favorite building in Bucharest. Doesn't it remind you of Paris? We've reached Zec Palace. The Zec Palace opened in 1900 as the Romanian Savings Bank headquarters. Its facade and the large glass dome made it one of the most elegant buildings in the city. Today, it's still a bank headquarters. While you can't go inside, its exterior is among the most photographed in Bucharest. Are you enjoying Bucharest? It has more than you thought, doesn't it? Let's continue with the tour. Nearly across the street is the National Museum of Romanian History. We only admired its beautiful facade and didn't go inside. The entrance fee is 20 lei, about €4. We are already on Victoria Street, or Calea Victoriae. Victoria Street, or Calea Victoriae, is the most elegant avenue in Bucharest. It was born in the 17th century as a road that connected the center with the old royal palace, and over time, it became filled with palaces, hotels, and theaters. Today, this walk is essential for exploring the city's architecture and culture. Just a few steps from the museum, we find the Slatari Church. Of the Slatari Church, built in the 18th century in the area where Bucharest's goldsmiths once worked. It preserves frescoes and golden details, and is still an active Orthodox church right in the city center. If we keep going on this street, we'll reach the Maca Villacros Passage entrance, another Bucharest must-see. The Maca Villacros Passage opened as a shopping gallery in the late 19th century. Covered with a horseshoe-shaped glass roof, it connects Victoria Street with Ipscani. Today, it houses cafes and bars with a bohemian atmosphere, very popular with both locals and tourists. Though not as well maintained as it should be, it truly reminds us of the Parisian passages. Bucharest was nicknamed Little Paris in the early 20th century because its elite studied in France and adopted French fashion and architecture. That's why wide boulevards, neoclassical buildings, and even a triumphal arch were built. Later, we'll see that these gave the city that Parisian feel that can still be sensed in its streets. Unlike Transylvania, which was under the rule of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, Bucharest was part of the Principality of Wallachia and later the Kingdom of Romania. Let's pause to say that if you're enjoying and finding the video helpful, please subscribe so you don't miss future videos, guide both in Romania and in other countries and cities. And give it a like, as well as share it with friends who might enjoy it. Also, to help them create their own itineraries. When we reach the intersection of Victoria Street and Regina Elisabeta Boulevard, we take a little detour to visit University Square. University Square is one of the main hubs of Bucharest, surrounded by iconic buildings such as the University, the National Theatre, Ion Luca Caragiale, and the Intercontinental Hotel. In its center, 4 statues of great figures from Romanian history stand out. And I think it's also a must-see when visiting the city. Now we head back towards Victoria Street, and as we stop, we can admire a series of beautiful buildings. Among them is the National Military Club. Opened in 1912, the National Military Club is a striking neoclassical building on Victoria Street. Today, it serves as a cultural center and event venue, although its elegant facade is what is most admired. We continue admiring buildings, and now we're heading to the Odeon Theatre. The Odeon Theatre, opened in 1911, is among Bucharest's most prestigious. Its building, in neoclassical style, is preserved as a cultural symbol right on Calea Victoria. In front stands the statue of Mustafa Kemal Ataturk, founder of modern Turkey, erected in 2003 as a symbol of Romania-Turkey friendship. Time kept passing, and it was time to stop and get something to eat. Very close by, almost next door, there is another passage, so we headed there. Victoria on Google Maps. Set it as Umbrella Street, because if you don't, it will send you to another part of the city, to a tunnel on an avenue, so be careful with that. Umbrella Street in Bucharest is a modern art installation featuring a small street covered with colorful umbrellas. It lacks historical background, but has become popular on social media and is among the most photogenic spots in the Old Town. We stopped for a light lunch, which was a great choice. I'll leave the receipt here. Remember, there were 4 of us on this trip. Now, feeling much more rested, we continued walking a bit further. And that's how we arrived at Revolution Square, a key site in Romania's recent history. Revolution Square was the site of the December 1989 demonstrations that ended the communist dictatorship of Nicolae Ceausescu. That's why today it's a memorial and symbol of freedom in Bucharest. Around it stand iconic buildings such as the Central University Library, the Crețulescu Church, the former Royal Palace, and the Romanian Athenaeum. This architectural ensemble reflects Bucharest's cultural and political history. Here we visit some of its buildings, the Crețulescu Church, first of all. Then the Royal Palace. The old Royal Palace, residence of the Romanian monarchs until 1947 today, houses the National Museum of Art of Romania. You will find collections ranging from Romanian medieval art to European works by great masters. The entrance fee is 30 lei, about €6, with free admission on the first Tuesday of each month. If you love art, add it to your list, otherwise skip it. The other place we visited, and luckily I recommend it to you, is the Romanian Athenaeum. The Romanian Athenaeum is the great cultural symbol of Bucharest. Opened in 1888, it features elegant neoclassical design and a circular hall with a fresco depicting Romania's history. Today, it remains the home of the George Enescu Philharmonic and one of the most prestigious auditoriums in the country. You can visit by paying a 15 lei, about €3, entrance fee, purchased on-site with cash. It's not just an architectural gem, but also the musical heart of Bucharest. It was a visit we really enjoyed. As I always say, everything is based on my tastes, and I'm especially drawn to places related to music. So in my opinion, I would include it among the must-see places to visit in Bucharest. This walk we took to get here is about 2 kilometers. We can add more and end the day in one of the many parks the city has, like Strauss Izmihu, the Botanical Garden, Carol Day, and more. We had dinner at Karukubre. It's worth it. You can book the visit in advance. At the end, I'll leave all the details and prices of our dinners. Day 2 in Bucharest. Today, the day will start with the most iconic visit in Bucharest. The visit to the Palace of the Parliament, the #1 must-see on a tour of this city. From our hotel, we were about 1.6 kilometer away, which is around a 23-minute walk. You can go by bus or metro, and another option to get there is to take an Uber. Apps like Volt and Free Now also work. The Palace of the Parliament is Bucharest's most famous and controversial building. Built in the 1980s by order of Nicolae Ceausescu, it symbolized the communist regime's power. Covering over 300,000 square meters, it is Europe's largest administrative building and the world's second largest after the Pentagon. Its construction required demolishing much of the historic center and relocating thousands of families, making it highly controversial. Today, the palace houses the Romanian Parliament, the Palace Museum, and the National Museum of Contemporary Art. Guided tours let visitors see its grand halls, adorned with marble, chandeliers, and huge carpets. The entrance fee is 60 lei, about 12 euros, and you must bring your passport or identification to enter. Tickets are sold on site, and access is only with a guide. Romanian and English are the main languages. Tours in Spanish, French, German, and Italian are offered most days and times, but schedules are more limited and same-day availability isn't guaranteed. The duration of the visit is approximately 1 hour. Things to keep in mind in this case. The guided tour starts a few blocks away from the Parliament, so make sure to check the meeting location carefully. The second thing is that you can't forget to bring your passport in order to enter. Otherwise, you won't be able to. Copies or photographs of it are not accepted. And finally, keep in mind that schedule changes can happen from one day to the next, or even on the same day without prior notice. Since it's a government building, please keep an eye on the phone number you provided when making the reservation. They will notify you of any changes via WhatsApp. As mentioned, the National Museum of Contemporary Art of Romania is also located in the same complex. In that case, we didn't visit it. Behind the Parliament is the impressive Cathedral of the Salvation of the Nation. The Cathedral of the Salvation of the Nation is Romania's largest Orthodox church and among the biggest in Europe. Its construction began in 2010 to commemorate the centenary of the country's unification, and it will be consecrated next October. Standing over 130 meters tall, its dome dominates Bucharest's skyline and is located next to the Palace of the Parliament. The cathedral holds over 5,000 worshippers and serves as a spiritual and national symbol. Admission is free, although some areas are still unfinished, so the experience may vary depending on when you visit. We continue along Unirii Boulevard, a grand avenue. Uniri Boulevard was built in the 1980s as a monumental axis leading to the Palace of the Parliament. With its fountains and symmetry, it reflects the urban vision of the Ceausescu era. Now let's go to a monastery that I recommend you visit, the Antim Monastery. Antium Monastery was founded in the early 18th century by a leading Romanian Orthodox Church patriarch, and it's one of Bucharest's best-kept gems. During the communist regime, it was threatened with demolition, but it was eventually saved thanks to a complex engineering operation that moved it a few meters. Today, it still functions as a place of worship and preserves frescoes and carvings of great artistic value. Admission is free. As you can see, most of the places we visit don't require an entrance fee, so visiting the city is quite affordable. I don't want to give you too many must-sees in the city, but I can't help but recommend you visit the next place. The Patriarchal Palace and Cathedral. Visiting Patriarchate Hill reveals one of Bucharest's most beautiful spiritual places. Here you will find the Patriarchal Cathedral, the heart of the Romanian Orthodox Church, with its frescoes and icons that convey centuries of religious tradition. Next to it is the Patriarchate Palace, a historic building that housed Parliament until the mid-20th century and now serves as the church's administrative center. The complex provides a peaceful setting to connect with Romanian Orthodox history and faith. Access is free, but only the cathedral can be visited, as the Patriarchate Palace is not open to the public. To finish the walk, we return to Uniri Boulevard and head to Uniri Square. And Uniri Square, it is one of the most iconic squares in Bucharest, famous for its large central roundabout and its fountains that light up at night with water and music shows. However, during our visit, we found it closed for renovations, so we couldn't enjoy the show. To earn more money, win. And the best part is that it's incredible. But after leaving the Tributo Pesca Hotel, we go to the hotel and say hacking, which organically associates laziness with sympathy, to find a They are located about 20 kilometers from the city center, half an hour by car, and were opened in 2016 as a modern complex for relaxation and fun. Your tickets grant access to lockers and changing rooms. The place is divided into three main areas of Palp, inspired by a tropical paradise, featuring thermal pools, swim-up bars, and diverse plants. This is the area we enjoyed the most. But, as I said at the beginning, that's just our preference. Now you'll see the other two areas, and one of them, if you're going with kids, you'll see that it's ideal. But in our case, this part, with bars in the water and indoor and outdoor pools, we loved it. Galaxy, designed for families and those looking for fun, with slides, water games, and pools for all ages. As I mentioned before, this area is perfect for fun, both for kids and adults. Elysium, the wellness area, with a wide variety of themed saunas, massage areas, and terraces for relaxing. Each space has its own atmosphere, and the best part is that you can easily move from one pavilion to another, depending on the ticket you purchase. We had a great time thanks to the facilities and relaxed atmosphere that let us enjoy the whole day. The complex is open every day, from 10 in the morning until almost midnight, which makes it an excellent option to relax after exploring the city. Prices depend on your chosen options. You can visit all three areas or just one, and purchase anything from a full day to a few hours. We bought tickets for all three areas for 4 hours on the official website because we already had a car and drove there. Prices start at 70 lei, about €14 for just one area. But, as I said, it depends on what you choose. They also have the option to do the visit with transportation included. I'll leave the link in the description so you can check it out. Prices start at around €54 for 2 areas with transportation included. When we got back to the city, it was already very, very late, but we still managed to find a place to have dinner. I loved that. I loved that about this city, too. Another thing you shouldn't miss in Bucharest is walking around the old town area at night, with its bars and lively atmosphere. Time to sleep so I can enjoy tomorrow, the last day in Bucharest. Day 3 in Bucharest. Today on this tour, we decided to do things we hadn't tried before, even though we'd been near them previously, but postponed due to lack of time. We first visited the Russian church, St. Nicholas, which was near our hotel. The Russian Church of St. Nicholas, also known as the Church of the Students, was built at the beginning of the 20th century with the support of Tsar Nicholas II of Russia. Its style is typically Russian Orthodox, with golden domes that contrast with the surrounding architecture. The interior features beautiful frescoes. Admission is free, and it remains an active Orthodox church. We continued walking and found the Latin passage. The Latin Passage is a small pedestrian passageway right in the historic center of Bucharest. Its name reflects the Romanian people's Latin roots. Near the Latin Passage stands the Capitoline wolf, the renowned sculpture of the she-wolf nursing Romulus and Remus. Given by Italy to Romania in the early 20th century, it symbolizes the Latin heritage uniting both peoples. Located in Roma Square, it's a photogenic spot to recall Bucharest's Roman roots. We arrived here at the National Theatre. Ion Luca Caragiale is in front of University Square, which we visited on the first day. But now we were crossing to see the beautiful sculpture that the building has on its front, and also the 0 kilometer of freedom and democracy. We crossed the avenue to where the free tour started on the first day, and we passed by the Culte Church, dedicated to the three hierarchs. It was built at the beginning of the 18th century next to the first hospital in Bucharest, the Culte Hospital, which is still operating today. Our steps take us to St. George Square. The new St. George Church was built by Prince Constantin Brâncoveanu in the 17th century in the Brâncovenesque style. It houses his remains and is now an important Orthodox place of worship. Admission is free. I particularly recommend seeing the interior of this Orthodox church. It's one of the interiors I liked the most. Here we are, at the 0 kilometer point of the city. Just steps away is the Templo Chorale, the largest synagogue in Bucharest. Its neo-Moorish style, with arches and oriental details, makes it one of the city's architectural jewels. It remains an active place of worship for the Jewish community and can also be visited. The entrance to the Bucharest Chorale Temple costs approximately 15 lei, about €3, and is paid in cash only upon entry. To Bucharest, to the Choral Temple. We keep walking. Bucharest is offering us much more than we thought at first, right? We arrive at one of the old inns, Ano Lui Manuco. This is considered the oldest inn still operating in Bucharest. It was inaugurated in 1808, and, unlike other inns or guest houses that disappeared over time, this one remained active with different uses: accommodations, restaurants, entertainment venues, even spaces for political meetings and historic treaties. Today, it still runs as a hotel and restaurant, maintaining its living history charm. I recommend entering the courtyard to see the building's timeless appeal. Now we're heading to Curtea Beș. Almost directly across from here is another historic site, Curtea Beș. The Old Court of Bucharest was the first royal palace in the city, built in the 15th century by Vlad Tepes. Today, the site is under restoration, and we can't see much, but it connects us with the medieval origins of Bucharest, right in the heart of the old town. Next to the Old Court, we find the Church of St. Anthony, the oldest church in Bucharest, which is still standing. It was built in the 16th century, and for centuries served as the main church of the city, where the rulers of Wallachia were crowned and blessed. Today, it is still used, and stands out for its simple, historic architecture in the heart of the old town. It was time to continue our tour, so I could show you more of the city And now we're heading to a museum. In Bucharest, we can revisit the communist era at the Museum of Communism, located on Strada Sutu. This space recreates a typical 70s and 80s Romanian apartment, featuring original furniture, appliances, toys, clothes, and propaganda posters. The visit feels like stepping into a Romanian family's home from that era. Every corner conveys what daily life was like under the communist regime, beyond politics, showing the reality of everyday life. The entrance fee is 40 lei, about €8. As I was saying, walking through the old city is always worthwhile, both during the day and at night. Now we're heading to another church, St. Demetrio. There are many buildings we see that are covered, under renovation, and others that are super well maintained, suddenly right next to each other. That contrast gives the city its charm, but it also gives us the idea that soon it will be very beautiful, completely renovated. The Church of St. Demetrius, one of the oldest in Bucharest, preserves its traditional Orthodox style and a peaceful atmosphere in the middle of the historic center. Let's continue. You can add going from here to the Holocaust Memorial. You'll see how tired you are and how interested you are in visiting it. I'll leave you some pictures. We did go. After seeing it, we went to a unique cafe, and that's where we're taking you now. After exploring history, there's nothing better than relaxing at the Grand Café Van Gogh, one of the most beautiful cafes in the historic center. With its vibrant, painter-inspired decor and relaxed vibe, it's the perfect spot to enjoy a coffee or drink before exploring more of Bucharest. Something different? It's truly a display of color. It has rooms downstairs and upstairs, all decorated as well, so you can choose the one you like to relax for a while. And as a final stop to end the day, what if it's not too late and you like history? You can go to Ceausescu's house. This one is farther away, and you'll need to take public transportation. We went by car. In an elegant residential area of Bucharest, you'll find Ceausescu's house, known as the Spring Palace. Dictator Nicolae de Ceausescu and his family lived here for over 20 years, until the regime fell in 1989. It appears to be an elegant villa from the outside, but inside, it's a true palace. The guided tour leads you through marble-adorned rooms, tapestries, crystal chandeliers, a large dining room, gardens, interiors, and a luxurious indoor mosaic pool. Each room highlights the stark contrast between the Ceausescu family's privilege and the hardships faced by the rest of the country under communism. The tour features personal items, official portraits, and preserved private spaces from when the family was overthrown. Today, the Ceausescu House has become a museum that allows visitors to take a look at that part of Romania's recent history and better understand how the regime worked from the intimacy of its leader. On the way back, we will pass by the famous Arch of Triumph in Bucharest. The Arch of Triumph in Bucharest, inspired by the one in Paris, was built in 1935 to commemorate Romania's victory in World War I and the unification of the country. Today, the Arch of Triumph is a major city symbol. You can add the Village Museum, the Sky Tower, or more places that we didn't have time to visit to this tour. If you had one more day, you could add a visit to Transylvania and its castles. There are tours from Bucharest, and I'll leave some in the description, but we dedicated a few nights to Transylvania, its villages and castles, and we'll show them to you in a special video. Let's move on to the practical details for planning your visit. Where did we stay? The hotel was ideally located, allowing you to walk everywhere except the baths in Ceausescu's house. A standard hotel with a great breakfast. Honestly, we really liked it. I just missed having a closet to store our clothes, but everything else was excellent, with an ironing room, an exercise room, an elevator, and very spacious rooms. We paid €80 per day for the double room in July, without breakfast. We added breakfast at the hotel for an extra €10. But, as we always say, always check your dates, since prices vary due to many factors. There are cheaper hotels and also more expensive ones, but I really recommend this area in the historic center for your stay. We parked at Plaza de la Universidad, which is underground and cheaper than the one near the hotel. Internet. We got connected with consumer electronics show Indio Lafley. As we already mentioned, we left a discount in the description with the coupon. Remember that travel insurance is a must. I'm leaving you two options that we usually use so you can check prices and see which one fits your needs best. We're also leaving a discount. Dinners? As we mentioned, we visited Caracubere. It's pricey, but worth the experience. We even returned on our last night to say goodbye to the city. One piece of advice is to ask about the size of the dish, because on the first night, the schnitzel was big enough for 2 people, and we didn't need to order one for each of us. You'll see for yourselves. Here are the pictures. As I said, the receipts you're seeing with the dinner prices are always for 4 people. The missing night. We also had dinner in the historic center. I'll write the name here. It was something lighter because it was very late, as I told you. But luckily, the kitchen was still open, and we were able to have dinner. For quick meals, they have places like Luca. Flights, we flew from Madrid with Taram, but there are others like Ryanair or Wizz Air. We used Skyscanner as a search engine to get the best prices on flights. I'll leave the link in the description. Travel companions, we're still in Romania with this video.